Hey everyone, Christina here. Today I'm going to be talking to you about color, which is amazing because I love color so much and I don't think I would be able to live in a grayscale world without color. It just brings me so much excitement and I love when colors work together and they look so amazing. All right, anyway, no more obsessing about color. So let's go in it. So today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 reasons why you should be using color psychology into your color palette when crafting your mental health brand. So the first reason is you want to invoke a feeling. So you want to embody a certain feeling that maybe this customer wants to feel. So if I was, a mental health professional and I was running, a mental health community event, and this event is more about community and being positive and really pushing for affirmation, I would really be focusing on one embodiment color. And for somebody who is, maybe depressed, burnt out, not feeling high energy, the color that I would probably use is orange as my main embodiment color. Now, why do I choose orange? Well, we're going to show you why, because I'm going to really focus on color psychology. So orange stimulates a feeling of energy, encouragement, movement, but it also showcases a bit of a positive vibe. Whereas a lot of people, would say, oh, maybe it's red, but red is too aggressive to me. But really, sometimes color psychology can really come down to your preferences. But I align it with color psychology because I believe that it does stimulate a certain feeling, a certain emotion, or it brings this type of feeling to somebody. So we want to make sure that we craft something that's, really, really thought into and has a good story. So for me, if this brand, mental health brand that's focusing on community and positivity, well, they would be really invoking a positive atmosphere, because that positive atmosphere is going to attract that client, right? So we want to ensure that we're using, maybe orange as the top color and then maybe 2 supporting colors. So maybe it would be, I don't know, there's orange and then maybe its complement color, which would be like a blue or maybe like a little off a blue into more of a green, because teal or aqua is a bit of a healing color, and maybe that support color is how they want to feel after, right? So they want positivity, and then their after feeling is the feeling of healing and refreshness. So those two complement each other. So you want to make sure that you organize your colors in a way that really speaks to the person that is engaging with your brand. So if this person's looking for community, well, maybe the overall palette has a lot of browns in it, because brown is super grounding. It also showcases a friendly community, welcoming community, and a comfortable community, because that's what's needed, right? So that's super important when you're trying to choose colors. It's not about your favorite color. It's not about the cliches of colors. You want to make sure that you're looking into the sciences of how color plays a big part in how we react and how we feel and associate ourselves with that color. Okay, so another reason why you should use color psychology into your color palette is you want to show some kind of a strategy when it comes to building out a color palette. Now, because people can go absolutely crazy with color, but it honestly comes down to, how you want to be viewed. So I'd say keep your colors to a limit of maybe 6. So you're going to have, 1 primary color and then 2 maybe secondary colors, but these would be an accent color. So these 2 would be accent colors. So they're not going to be overpowering. They're just going to be supporting the main color, the primary. And then you're probably going to want to pick 3 neutrals. So, or at least 2 neutrals and then black and white. But white is not a color, so we can't really throw that in there. But yes, you would want to have at least maybe 6 colors in your palette so that you have room to play and your brand still has a lot of fun to it, right? You don't want to look boring and have everything just one color. We want to mix colors in, but we want to explore the colors. So ensure that you have at least 6 colors that you're working with, but all of them work well together. So don't pick, really clashy colors that really cause a lot of noise, unless that's what you want your brand to feel like, right? So I would say that when you're choosing the colors, you want to think about percentages. So in color psychology, they say that, if 2 colors are, equally the same amount used, it can come off a little bit overwhelming, or there's a lot of fighting between it. So for example, the colors orange and blue, these 2 are complementary colors. So they like to bump heads a lot because there's so much contrast between the 2 of them. So what you need to do is when you're building out your color palette, you want to ensure that you have enough percentage of each color, but change the percentage of each color too. So they're not going to be all equal. Your neutral colors are probably going to be a large aspect of your actual color palette. So you might have like neutral colors, brown, black, white. And then like the secondary color could be orange, and that would be maybe like 30% of the palette. And then maybe like 20% for, the supporting colors. So the reason why I say that is when we design, or me as a designer, when I design a color palette, I make sure that I deviate the percentages and be clear with the percentages, because when it comes to doing, like, say, a website design, color psychology really plays a big part in, trying to set up a design for the page and where you want your user to go. You use the power of psychology to help guide the eye around the page. So those 2 accent colors that are 20% on the actual color palette, these 2 colors would be used as accents. So they could be buttons, links, or maybe some pops of color within the photography or illustration. These are going to be used very, very sparingly. Whereas maybe that 30% color orange could be used as like a background or something in the headline. You want to make sure that everything is super organized and that nothing's going to be punching in your face, because there's websites I've seen that used so much color that I was overwhelmed and I had to close the page. It was just too much, and you scare people away that way. It's just you're screaming too much in their face, because that's what color can do. If you don't limit your color palette, you're going to be sending off the wrong message. So that's why it's so important to have some sort of cap to the colors that you use. And remember that even though it's a limiting color palette, you're still able to use the tints and shades of those colors. So it's not completely, locked into one little box, right? You got so much opportunity with those colors. All right, and the last reason, number 3, as to why to really put color psychology into building your color palette for your brand, is color is super powerful, and sometimes people forget how powerful it is. So if you're trying to get a message across, and let's just say it's something about trying to get awareness out there in regards to mental health, then color is a great way to do that. You can catch their eye by using a really, really bright saturated color that's in one of your color palettes. And that's a great way to get attention. Even in your signages, if you're going to be doing any type of signages that you're going to be posting around, use color to grab their attention, because it's super, super powerful, and people get distracted by that, right? Depending on the color that you use. And other than that, color can really stimulate emotion, right? I was just talking about that. So if you want somebody to feel a certain way, then or when they walk into a room, you would definitely want to showcase your colors right away when they either walk into your building or they come to your vendoring booth or something at a conference. There's a whole lot of opportunity there when using color. Even with your business cards, you can definitely do a very interesting color tactic on your business cards to help them remember, who you are and, what you're known for. There's a lot of interesting things that the color can do for you. So let's just say your brand is really associated with orange, right? Then what you would want to do is really embody orange, even in your clothing. Wear a lot of orange color palette outfits. It doesn't have to be crazy, just as an accent to spark, hey, that's Christina, she is, a mental health provider. Just a lot of things that color can really do to help you remember. So other than that, there's a lot of other things that color can really do to spark emotion. So let's just say we're doing a photo shoot, and the photo shoot, has a certain look, color grading look that you want. So for example, in this room here, there's a lot of warmth, right? So we got a lot of browns and yellow tones, and everything's quite neutral here. So this type of color palette showcases, a friendly vibe, right? Now, what happens if I do like a color filter, like orange, over top of this video right now? You would feel very uncomfortable, or because it's not really natural, right? It's a filter, so everything will be very bright. Maybe it would have a bit of a joyful vibe, depending on how you look at it. But when people put filters over photography, it could either come off as being almost like a nightclub where color filters are all over the place, everything's neon and crazy, or it could be like something cinematic where, like say in a Disney movie, where they mute all the colors down in a sad scene. And then when something's super happy, everything's elevated. There's saturated colors everywhere. So that's a really good example there, how powerful color is to invoke an emotion. So Disney's very, very good with that when it comes to trying to get a message across or get someone in a cry because color can really play with that pull on your heartstrings type of feeling. So color is everywhere. It's super important. Please don't just pick colors out of a crayon box. Make sure that there's thought and strategy to it, and that you're putting your ideal customer first and how they want to feel and embody a certain feeling and the results that they would feel after that. So thank you so much for watching and for listening. I hope that you found this super helpful, and let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or what your biggest takeaway was. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good one. Bye.